In June of 2008, members of the TFAHR International Field School arrived at the site that many archaeologists consider to be the ancient Paionian city of Bylazora. An invitation had come from the People's Museum of Sveti Nikolai for a joint museum TFAHR excavation project. TFAHR and the museum would work together at the site until the summer of 2013. TFAHR has been making the results of the Bylazora excavations widely available since the beginning of the project in 2008. During the course of each excavation season, at the end of each week, the TFAHR directors would email a weekly report, an update with photographs. It was sent out to more than 600 individuals, museums, colleges, and universities all over the world. Many of these people and institutions forwarded the weekly reports on to members on their email lists. As a consequence, news of the Bylazora excavation spread much further than we had anticipated. We began an informative exchange with archaeologists whom we had never met, but who had developed an interest in Bylazora via the weekly updates. One archaeological journal, Past Horizons, featured our work in their January 2011 edition. At the end of each season's work, members of TFAHR would publish an annual donors report on that season's work. Reports for each season from 2008 to 2011 are posted on the TFAHR website. Although some of our initial hypotheses have been revised or altogether scrapped, the annual reports are still interesting as they show the evolution of the theories about certain aspects of the TFAHR Bylazora project.
At the end of the 2012 season, knowing that our time at Bylazora was coming to an end, we decided to publish Volume 1 of our final report. Volume 1, which includes a few articles reprinted from the annual reports, highlights our work on the Acropolis of Bylazora. The book also features articles on the propylon and the ceremonial pool, preliminary reports on the stoa and palace of Philip V, various articles on aspects of Paionian history and the ancient literary evidence regarding Bylazora, and several articles on specific items found at the site, an inscribed stone, a marble pedestal, and various stamped and inscribed pieces. During the winter of 2012 and 2013, Elizabeth de Marigny, a TFAHR International Field School member and recipient of a Fulbright Fellowship, worked at the Sveti Nikolai Museum with the ceramic finds. Her work became the core of Volume 2 of the Bylazora publication, The Ceramic Typology Based on the Finds from 2008 to 2012. Other members of the TFAHR International Field School spent the same period researching the architectural finds we had made over the years in Sector 6. We became convinced that we had discovered the remains of a stoa and a palace garrison built by the Macedonian king Philip V. The finds from our last season, 2013, strengthened this conviction, and further excavation of the palace brought to light more evidence to support the dating of the palace. At the end of the 2013 season, we began work on the final volume of our publication, Volume 3, which is a presentation of the stoa and palace and our reasons for dating them to Philip V.
This and several upcoming short videos are TFAHR's final publication in video format of our work at Bylazora. In them we condense the more detailed research in Volumes 1, 2, and 3 of the TFAHR Bylazora publication. Since the only archaeological excavations done at Bylazora prior to TFAHR's arrival were some soundings excavated by Ivan and Gorica Mikulcic in the 1980s and a salvage operation by Zoran Georgiev at the ceremonial pool in 1996, TFAHR was essentially starting from scratch in 2008. From the beginning, we decided to provisionally label the strata with letters and not assign them absolute dates until we had had time to analyze the finds, and the letters assigned to the various strata were non-sequential, leaving room for future intermediary strata. Bylazora is a 19.6 hectare site in the Ovčepolje region of the Republic of Macedonia. It is approximately 450 meters above sea level. Our first season involved doing a series of preliminary soundings all across the site. To organize the excavation, we divided the site into sectors.
Sectors 1 and 2 were trenches laid down on the highest point of Bylazora. Unfortunately, they proved sterile of ancient material, the only things found being food tins deposited there by the Yugoslavian army in the 1980s. The discovery of these tins some 2 meters below topsoil led us to the conclusion that the army had done some considerable rearrangement of the site's topography. Sector 3 was where Ivan Mikulčić had excavated his sounding, which had been backfilled in the 1990s. From his notes, we were able to locate his trench, however. The most important architectural finds of Sector 3 were the Acropolis casemate wall, the propylon, and the terrace houses. Sector 4 was the ceremonial pool excavated by Georgiev. Although we did not excavate again in Sector 4, we cleared out the debris from the pool and the Sveti Nikolae Volunteer Fire Department drained it. And a TFAHR archaeologist, Pablo Aparicio Resco, reassessed the function and date of the structure. Sector 5 was a small sounding that was never developed. Sector 6 was a trench excavated by the Yugoslavian army in 1986. The army hit a stretch of the Acropolis city wall. We reopened this trench and expanded the excavations. The most important architectural finds in Sector 6 were the city wall, the remnants of a stoa built by Philip V, and the palace of Philip V. Sector 7 was excavated in an attempt to link the Acropolis wall of Sector 3 with the Acropolis wall of Sector 6. Instead, where we expected wall, we found a field of pithoi, underground storage vessels.
For our excavation and recording methodology, we used the TFAHR Locus card system. This system traces its pedigree back to Sir Flinders Petrie in the late 1800s. Petrie believed that every find's location, or locus in Latin, should be recorded, a novelty for archaeology at the time. Israeli archaeologists further refined this practice, and when TFAHR archaeologists worked in Israel from 1978 to 1997, we further improved the methodology by linking the finds and the trenches and the buildings together using the same set of alphanumeric grid coordinates across the board. This is the system TFAHR brought to Macedonia in 1994. A complete discussion of the TFAHR locus card system is posted on our website.
In the 2008 season, the Macedonian team was directed by Boban Husanovsky, an archaeologist with the museum in Gevgelija, whom we see here on the right talking to Ivan Mikulčić, who visited the site that year. Eula Matthews and William Neidinger directed the TFAHR International Field School. Upcoming videos will provide a short presentation of TFAHR's research on and excavation of Bylazora. We hope you find them informative, and we would certainly welcome any additional observations and ideas regarding this famous Paionian city.